Hi everyone. Today I have come again to you with a new topic that would be firefighting at sea. It would be an interesting topic to know that how people fight fire on ship. So let us start from the very basic. Let us say that your house is on fire. What would you do? Because you do not have any training to fight the fire. Yes, you are quite right. You would call the fire brigade. You would ring up the fire brigade and the fire brigade would come and will extinguish the fire. But if there is a fire on board, what do? You are in the middle of the sea. There is no fire brigade to come to your help. Then you yourself will have to fight the fire. For that you need a training. That is what we intend to do today. Give you some idea of how you are going to fight a fire on board or how seafarers fight fire on board. So let us start from the very basic of a fire. What do you require for a fire? Three things are required. First thing is oxygen. The air has around 22% oxygen and up to 14% is sufficient to generate a fire. And I said three things. What are the other two? The other is, of course, fuel, something that will burn. And the third thing is a source of heat, which will ignite the fuel, and in the presence of oxygen, it burns. This is called a fire triangle. All the three have to be present for a fire to take place. And how do we extinguish a fire? Yes, take out any one of the arm of a triangle and the fire extinguishes. Let us see. We have removed the heat and the fire goes off. When we remove heat to extinguish a fire, the process is called cooling down. Let us go back to the fire triangle. Now we shall remove the oxygen and you see the fire has gone, it's died. Removal of oxygen to extinguish a fire is called smothering, not allowing the fire to breathe. Let's go back to the fire triangle and lastly let us move the fuel arm. Mind you, the fuel is the food for the fire. That is the one that burns. We take away the food, means we are starving the fire, so that's called starvation. So let us just see what's a fire tetrahedron. We just saw a fire triangle. When we add a chemical chain reaction, another arm to the fire triangle consists of oxygen, heat and fuel. We add a chain reaction arm from the bottom which gives us a fire tetrahedron. So first we get a fire triangle, we add a chain reaction from the bottom, we get a fire tetrahedron. We have often seen this sign, flammable material, warning. What is a flammable material? So first let us see what's a combustible material. A combustible material is anything that will burn. In your home right now, where you are sitting on the table, wooden chair, your bed, the mattress, the cloth you are wearing, anything that burns is a combustible material. What's a flammable material? Flammable material is a thing that burns very, very easily. Let us take this pen. If I put a fire to it, will it burn easily? It will burn, but it will take some time because it's a combustible material. But if I take a cup of petrol and put a lighter near it, it will just burst into flames because petrol is a flammable material. It catches fire very, very easily. So in other words, a combustible material ignites with some difficulty, whereas a flammable material burns very fast or very easily, or it catches fire very easily. Now, to extinguish a fire, we saw that we need to remove any one of the arms of a triangle. And we have some mediums which we use to extinguish a fire. What is the most common medium for fighting a fire? Yes, you are right, that's water. That's the most common medium which we have all around us, especially at sea. At sea, this is the medium we have in abundance. Let us see the other mediums. We have got foam, then we have got CO2 gas, and lastly we have got dry chemical powder, which we call by DCP, dry chemical powder. So these are the four mediums that we use to extinguish a fire. Now we cannot take all the mediums in a bucket and throw it into the fire. Okay, for water we can do that. For foam we can't, we have to make foam. CO2 gas throwing with a bucket is out of the question, and so is DCP. So we need fire extinguishing systems. There are two types of fire extinguishing systems. One is the portable extinguishers, which we see in offices, movie halls. On board also you see portable extinguishers, which will have any one of the four mediums which I just showed you in the previous slide. It cannot have more than one medium. A portable fire extinguisher can have either water or foam or CO2 or DCP. It cannot have more than one. And the other firefighting system is fixed firefighting system. In the fixed firefighting system, obviously you can't move the container in which the medium is there. The container is placed outside the room or the space to be protected. And the tank will have either CO2 or foam or water, CO2 or DCP. And they will be led to the protected space by pipelines. About fixed firefighting systems, I shall deal with in the next part, because this will be a series of episodes on firefighting. So in one of the episodes, I shall deal solely with the fixed firefighting systems. Right now, let us move with the portable extinguishers. Now, I just showed you the four mediums to fight a fire. Now, you cannot use any medium on any type of fire. You need to know what type of fire that is, or you need to know what class of fire that is, and then we have to use the proper medium out of the four to extinguish the fire. For example, if you use water on an oil fire, there's going to be an explosion. If we use water on a metal fire, the fire will increase. It won't decrease, it will increase, because the water becomes a sort of food for the metal fire, generating hydrogen. So we have to know the different types of fire or the different classes of fire, which is given very clearly in this table. So let us start. Class A fire. It is a normal day-to-day fire involving wood, paper, cloth, rubber, plastic, or in other words, we say that class A fire involves carbonaceous material. And which medium do we use? We can use any of the four mediums to extinguish a class A fire. See, any of the four mediums. Water, foam, DCP, chemical. CO2 gas is not quite allowed in enclosed spaces, so CO2 is not here. Next is class B fire, which involves flammable liquids, petrol, diesel, heavy oil, lube oil. All these are flammable liquids. That's called a class B fire. And the available medium is only foam. Yes, it is given here dry powder, but preferable is foam only for oil fire, which is class B fire. Next, we go to class C fire, which is flammable gas, LPG, LNG, PNG. and so on. For fighting a gas fire or combustible gas fire or a flammable gas fire, only dry chemical powder is allowed. No other medium would be effective in putting out a flammable gas fire. Next we come to class D, that is metal fire. Yes, metals do catch fire at elevated temperatures. And for metal fire, none of the four mediums which we just saw would be efficient or it wouldn't be effective. So it has got a special medium which is called a class D powder. Next we come to class F. You will see that class E is missing. Electrical fire is termed class E, but some groups, they say electrical fire does not have any group. So it's not here. Class F fire is only cooking oil fire, and here also none of the four mediums would be effective. So there's a special type of medium, class F, wet chemical foam. And in case of fire involving electrical equipment, the only item allowed is dry powder or CO2. But dry powder DCP is harmful for electronic circuits. So it is best that we use only CO2 for fires involving electrical equipment. Let us proceed further. Now, how do we know which portable extinguisher has got what medium inside? Yes, the label is there, of course, but if the portable extinguisher is at a distance, we can't read the label. So that is why all portable extinguishers are color coded. Red and red indicates water is inside, blue and red indicates DCP is inside, cream and red indicates foam is inside, black and red indicates CO2 gas is inside, and yellow and red indicates wet chemical foam, which we just saw incidentally is the ideal medium for cooking oil fire. Okay, so that is the idea of having color coding of extinguishers so that we can identify what medium is inside that particular portable extinguisher from a distance when we are unable to read the label. Now let us see portable extinguishers. There are two types depending on the construction and operational method. This is a cartridge type portable extinguisher in which the medium is here water, foam or DCP, and this is a sealed bottle, a cartridge, small cartridge of CO2 gas. When the handle is operated from top, the cartridge is punctured, the CO2 comes out and pushes out the medium, water, foam or DCP. And the other one is a stored pressure type. Here you can see that there is no cartridge in which to keep the CO2. In fact, the CO2 is out here, just above the medium, under pressure. When we want to operate it, we just squeeze the two handles, which opens up a valve, and the CO2 will push out all the water, foam or DCP, whatever medium is inside. Now let us see the advantages and disadvantages